For decades, attending the World Cup meant traveling to a single host country and riding their domestic rail lines between a few neighboring cities. In 2026, that localized experience is entirely gone. We are looking at a massive continental tour. The expansion brings 48 teams playing 104 matches, spread across 16 host cities in 3 different countries. This completely breaks the traditional hub-and-spoke fan experience. The distance from Los Angeles to Toronto is over 3,500 kilometers. Compare that to the last time North America hosted in 1994. The footprint was smaller, the logistics were simpler, and the tournament required far less coordination from the average attendee. That compact layout allowed fans from all over the world to easily congregate in centralized areas without facing severe travel friction between matches. Trying to run an event of this scale across existing domestic infrastructure will push local resources in the US, Canada, and Mexico to their absolute limits. You can no longer simply decide to go to the World Cup. Attending this tournament requires engineering a highly specific, geographically constrained itinerary. Once you arrive in a host city, the friction shifts from distance to density. Major hubs are injecting billions of dollars into smart mobility and dedicated transit corridors just to handle the localized surge in foot traffic. But the reality is that millions of fans will be relying heavily on aging, everyday metro systems operating at maximum capacity. To manage the crowds, these transit corridors will funnel attendees strictly into designated fan zones. Broad, flexible tourism will be heavily restricted by localized vehicle access limits and road closures. That funneling effect creates fierce competition for extremely limited local resources, driving daily expenses well above normal tourist rates. Current projections estimate that average baseline costs will exceed $500 per person per day, just to cover basic food, lodging, and transit. Assuming your familiarity with North American cities will make this a cheap trip is a dangerous financial trap. The friction on the ground will be just as severe as the cross-border distances. Then comes the challenge of actually getting inside the stadium. The ticketing market is highly fragmented, with prices swinging anywhere from $60 to nearly $8,000, depending entirely on which platform you use. Your first option is the FIFA resale marketplace for US and Canada matches. You get high security but face extreme scarcity. Inventory is so low that finding a ticket requires constant monitoring, and knockout stage prices are climbing toward $8,000. The second option requires looking south to the Mercado de Intercambio for matches hosted in Mexico. This system operates under stringent Mexican consumer protection laws that guarantee tickets can only be resold at strict face value, completely eliminating the price gouging you see in the US markets. The trade-off here is geographic. To access these fair, regulated prices, you have to confine your entire trip to Guadalajara, Mexico City, or Monterrey. Your third option is purchasing through third-party brokers like StubHub. This route offers immediate certainty if you want to lock in a specific high-demand knockout ticket today. But that certainty comes with massive vulnerability. You will pay heavily inflated, profit-driven prices, and you have to rely entirely on an anonymous seller to correctly execute the official ticket transfer to your FIFA account. Attending a match requires choosing which specific vulnerabilities, from total scarcity to insecure digital transfers, you are most willing to tolerate. Even if you secure a ticket, you still need a place to sleep. Hyper-dense host cities are facing a massive lodging deficit. Take the Dallas-Fort Worth area as a primary case study. This bar chart outlines the severe mismatch for DFW's 9 matches. The region has a 150,000 hotel room capacity, but projects over 305,000 visitors. This immense deficit forces at least 42,000 attendees into short-term rentals, exposing them to surging prices from local hosts. That's just the friction of staying in one place. If your strategy involves following a specific team through the group stages, you will inevitably have to cross international borders, this approach compounding your logistical friction. You will be navigating high-cost domestic flights, unavoidable airport congestion, and complex international arrival management multiple times in a single week. Failing to lock in a localized lodging and transit strategy months in advance will drain your budget before a single match is even played. To survive this tournament, you need a rigid travel strategy. Based on your goals, you have 3 distinct paths. Strategy 1, the Basecamp. Secure long-term lodging in a high-density hub and rely entirely on local transit. You could see 9 matches with 0 intercity travel. The trade-off is that you surrender the ability to choose your teams. You settle for whoever happens to be drawn into your specific hub. Strategy 2 is the chaser. This is the traditional fan experience, following one specific nation to maximize the emotional payoff of seeing your team advance. The logistical cost is immense. It requires massive capital to fund non-stop intercity flights, constant lodging changes, and engaging in high markup secondary ticket markets. Strategy 3 is the local opportunist. This is for residents living in the 16 host cities who want to participate without actually buying match tickets. By listing their properties on short-term rental platforms, locals can capture the massive housing overflow and tap directly into the tournament's projected $17.2 billion GDP boost. In exchange for that economic windfall, you must endure a month of severe traffic gridlock and strict vehicle restriction zones right in your own neighborhood. There is no perfect way to experience the 2026 World Cup. Success depends